So if you have a question, go ahead and line up.
No speeches.
No speeches. It's got to be a question. We're not listening to you. We're here to hear Dan. I have the first question.
Yes, sir.
And it was 2 months ago. We had Terry Hall. I know you know Terry with Turf, Texas Roads. If y'all remember, Terry was here, and she spoke to us about the need for a better chair of the Transportation Committee. In that last session, and I'm just going to give them a background because we have a larger crowd than we had for her. So last session, Dan Patrick appointed Senator Nichols to be chair of transportation. He's not a conservative at all. He killed a bunch of great bills, and I could list them for you. But we have asked Dan to instead name Senator Kolkhorst.
Kolkhorst?
Yeah, okay. She is a conservative, and she agrees with the legislation we want passed. So she was a freshman senator last time, so we want to know what your stance is this time. She's no longer a freshman, so that's not...
Okay. Well, first of all, and I never disagree with Julie.
Okay, first of all,
yes.
We disagree on the homeschooling ESAs.
Well, we may, Julie, but that's just not accurate that the homeschoolers will be impacted by the ESAs, and their coalition, made up of parents all across the state, support it. So I can't, doesn't mean I always respect people who disagree, but they would not support it if they thought otherwise. Robert Nichols is a conservative. He voted for every one of these bills on the sheet. And that's the most conservative legislation ever passed in the history of the Senate. So he is a conservative. He's one of those that came in with me as a freshman. He is a conservative. Secondly, he's been a great chair of transportation. So Linda, because I knew I was going to get this question. It's okay to go like that because the facts are important. You always said you'd hold me accountable. These are the bills we passed out of transportation last session. And while you're getting the paper, long-term reliable funding source for transportation. It was Robert Nichols who passed the bill to get an extra $2 billion in transportation with no new taxes and no new fees. And you know we had a fight with the House on that, Jonathan, and we won that fight, Stephanie. We put it in the Constitution so we'd have a steady stream of funding so there wouldn't be raised taxes in the future. Ending diversions. We passed that, Robert Nichols passed that bill out of transportation. It's something you all have wanted forever. Restrictions on the use of the Texas Mobility Fund. It prohibits the use of Texas Mobility Funds for toll roads. We passed that out of transportation. Protecting private property interests. Repeal the ability of a private toll road corporation to independently exercise eminent domain. We passed that out of transportation. Reviewing state policies on toll roads. We required TxDOT to come up with an inventory of the amount of debt owed on toll roads and develop a report that includes a plan to eliminate all toll roads. Robert Nichols passed that bill out of transportation. Open meetings require metropolitan planning organizations that serve one or more counties with a population of 350,000 to broadcast a live video and audio of each open meeting held by the MPO Policy Board on the internet. Robert Nichols passed that bill. I knew Terry very well. I love Terry. She supported me in my race. There were 3 bills he didn't pass out of 9. And one of those bills, actually, there was no support for. One of the bills said that when a toll road is paid off, there would be no more tolls collected. Well, I just have a question for you. Who pays the maintenance on the toll road when the toll road is finished? And if you do nothing on the toll road when it's finished, then it will cost you double and triple the amount to rebuild that road years from now. There just wasn't support when people looked at the facts of that. The good news is, under Robert Nichols in 2013 and last session, there's not one new CDA. That's a comprehensive development agreement that was not already in the pipeline. No more new contract with private sector. And to my knowledge, there were no new toll roads, and there will be no new toll roads this session. So Robert could do a lot of things. He could be chair of a lot of committees. He's very smart, as Jonathan knows. And so I think he's done a good job. And I have to defend it because I think he did a good job. And there were some bills that didn't pass, or 1 or 2 I wanted. We got 7 out of 9. Like I said, the 1 didn't have any support, and we'll get the other 2 this session. The other thing is, Lois Kolkhorst may not want to be chair of transportation. Maybe that's not what she wants to do. And secondly, I have to juggle. You got to trust me when you elected me. I got 20 Republican senators, and I kept 2 promises last session. I eliminated the 21 vote rule for the first time in the history of the state and got it down to 19. And reduced 4 committees and eliminated 4 Democrat chairs and reduced them from 6 to 2, which was another part of my campaign. You got to trust my judgment on some of these choices, because when you put one person here, that moves another person here, which moves another person here. And I do know the talents of each one, and I do know what they request on a piece of paper to me, what they'd like to do. And so I want people to be in the best position they can be. And for Lois Colcourse, by the way, she was a freshman, but for the first time in history, modern history, I put 2 freshmen on finance, and Lois was one of them. And conference committee for appropriations, for doing the budget, is the most important committee of the whole session. It's the 5 senators who go and negotiate the final budget. Like I said, it came out last. Lois Colcourse was on that committee. In fact, the first time in history we had 3 women out of the 5 members. Because not they were women, because they were the best people. So I've got a lot on the plate for Lois. I feel good with Robert. It doesn't mean everyone's always going to agree, but I have to tell you what I believe in my heart, and I believe he's done. Now, will he be transportation chair again? I don't know, because I don't know how we're going to move these people around. But no new toll roads, no new CDAs, and if you look at what happened last session, I thought it was a pretty good session. Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Governor, I have a question concerning the property taxes, and what is the next step? I was gone for 7 months. I came back, I have 4 properties in Tarrant County.
Yeah.
One went from 30,000 to 68,000, one went from 32 to 74, one went from 52 to 98. I'm a very wealthy man standing in front of you today.
But you won't be long.
Well, my point is this. Tarrant County had 107,000 people actually dispute their taxes.
Yes.
It's almost like a mafia up there, and the 52 taxing principalities are really not holding Tarrant County accountable. I've been up to their meetings, and this may not be ubiquitous to all the different counties in the state of Texas, but I can rest assured that when I ask who appraised my property, they will not share that with me.
Yeah. And by the way, you don't have to say another word. You had me at hello, as they say in the movie, all right? I'm all in. I've been fighting this issue before I was in the Senate. And the reason we want to reduce the rollback rate from 8 to 4, that would apply to all properties, your homestead, your second home, your third home, your farm, your ranch, your commercial property. We want to bring that down, that they cannot increase your property taxes any more than 4%, which is about population inflation, or maybe the wording in the bill will be population inflation, whatever we find. And it could not grow any more than 4% without the people voting.
Okay,
So we're going to take charge of that.
I appreciate that, but my question to you is this. There's a differential between mass appraisals and individual appraisals. The way the private sector does it and the way the county does it are totally
Look,
disconnected.
You're right. Throughout our hearings all over the state, I don't mean to cut you off, but we're going to run it. No, but let me finish. Throughout our state, the one thing we learned, because we had a hearing in Tarrant County and everywhere else, it's a disaster. And the reason I sent Paul Betancourt, who I appointed a special committee, I appointed him chair, he was a tax assessor collector, and now he appeals people's taxes. I sent him around the entire state because I wanted to show every member of the Senate and the House in their area the disaster this is, and that's what we did. We're going to pass this legislation come hell or high water, and we're going to get it done.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Is there going to be a grandfather period, and is there going to be a rollback period? Because if you do pass this, because we only meet every 2 years.
Yes.
If you guys had done this 2 years ago, I would not be in front of you today asking this question. If you pass it this legislative session, can we work that back?
No, we won't be able to work it back because the taxes have been collected. Look, I only had one session. We did a lot. We did a lot. And we did increase the homestead exemption, and we did take the sales tax off the table. I would like to have done this last session. I didn't have the votes, so I decided to make the case. And that's why we've had 12 committees, I think 10 or 12 around the state. I'm in with you. And I'm going to be there fighting for it. Jonathan?
Constitutionally, it's illegal for us to pass retroactive laws. So we wouldn't be able to do
Well,
it
thank you
even
for
if we
the
wanted to.
education. I do appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, look, we're going to get it done. Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Governor Paul Hudson with the
Paul,
Convention of
yes, sir.
States, Co-Director. First, I want to thank you for your support. Last session, I know it was behind the scenes, and I want to let everyone know how much he helped us in the Senate. You
Thank
got
you.
the bill very, very late, and we appreciate your confirmation of your support again last month. Just terrific. Our question is, we've got some hesitant senators in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in supporting this. What can we do to help convince them?
Well, I think you have to sit down, visit with them. quite frankly, in a very respectful and persuasive way. I'm optimistic. Look, this is Greg Abbott's, one of his top priorities. I told him from day one, as I've told you all, I've been with them, you've met with their staff. I think it has a great chance of passage this session. You just sit down with people and you try to talk to them. Look, Eagle Forum, and I love Eagle Forum, but they put up, as you well know, and a lot of conservative members listen to Eagle Forum. And so if you're a senator and you've got these conservative groups over here saying do it, and these conservative groups over here saying don't do it, you're in a pretty tough spot. And so hopefully you all can convince Eagle Forum to come in and bring on their support. Look, we have these issues, by the way, with our two pro-life groups, who sometimes disagree over the same issue. It's how the bill is worded. And so I brought them into my office last session on the end-of-life bill, and I said, look, I'm not going to bring a bill to the floor that cuts up my members or cuts up the House. This happened 2 years ago, right, Stephanie? And no matter which side you voted on, you were the devil. Whether you were with Alliance for Life or Texas Right to Life. And you got an email sent out, well, you're not pro-life because you didn't vote in our view. And so I said, if we want to pass a bill, let's come together and get it done. Guess what? They came together, got it done, and we passed the bill. So that's what we need to work on. I feel like the votes are probably there, but I don't know. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Darrell Easton, Euless, Texas. I got to echo the frustration with the appraisal districts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Complete Tarrant County appraisal.
And Tarrant County was a
districts.
disaster on top of it.
You know, my house went up 48%, my neighbor's house went down 10%, same sized house, and it's all through the city of Euless that I checked on, and there's no way to hold them accountable that I know of. What is the accountability for Jeff Law in charge of Tarrant County Appraisal District?
Well, there's a couple of accountability. First of all, and I don't know if you want another election, but they can be elected. But I have some conservatives say, don't give us one more election. But that's one way. The second thing is, and I'm not poking fingers at anybody or pointing blame. That's not what I do. I just call balls and strikes as I see them. Those people are appointed by your county officials in your school districts. That's how you hold them elected. That's how you hold them accountable. I mean, look, I stand up here to be accountable. If I'm wrong, I'll acknowledge it. If I'm right, I'll defend it. But I stand here to be accountable. Every person who runs for office should be able to stand before you and say, I'm accountable. And so the appraisal districts are a disaster. They're a mess. It's like, you know, if you've ever been on vacation and you go into like where the bazaar is, where you get to, you know, buy things, don't really have price tags, and there's something you want to buy, and the guy says it's $40, and you say, no, how about 10? And he says, how about 30? And you say 20. That's our appraisal system. And some of you walk out with your item for $10, and other people walk out for 25. Or some people don't go at all and buy it retail and pay. So it's a mess. And if we get this thing down under 4%, that will help control that to some extent.
Is that per individual residential property or for the city budget to be under?
It's for the city budget. So each person, you could go down, you could go a little up in a given year, depending on your property. But it will level itself out. Look, what my goal always was just to take the appraisal cap and cut it from 10 to 4% for everybody. But the business community, and those of you in business in here will appreciate this, they said, no, we can't support that. Because the homeowners will get a break and they'll increase our business taxes. So I had to find a method that I could get the business community in support and the homeowners in support. And if we get to 4%, that's the most it can grow. When the economy's flat like it was in 2009, your appraisal won't be 4%. So it won't be an exact science for everyone, but it's going to be really close to that number. And by the way, I'm wide open for better ideas, but after years and years of spending time on this and testimony and hearings, this seems to be the bill that I think we can pass. I think we can pass. We're hopeful.
How about the
Just turn it off.
Okay. Thank you.
You're off the air.
Ray, what's up, Ray?
Hey, buddy. Thank you for coming.
Sure, my pleasure.
We really appreciate it. Dan, I have in my hot little hand here a letter from about 29 SREC members to you and your office about Hispanic outreach.
Okay.
Dan, we've got a couple of great Hispanics running for office in the state of
Yes.
Texas. And my question is, how...
Charlie Garza, who's spoken before, is one
Yes,
of them, by the way.
Charlie Garza's right there.
You're awesome,
Yes,
Charlie. We need to elect Charlie. Charlie, if you want me to do a robocall for you, I'm happy to do it. Okay?
And Pete Forrest.
And before.
You betcha. Now, we're watching this. We're holding you accountable.
We can't hold me accountable for every election, right?
Well, we're gonna talk about it.
Well, let me tell you about race down there. Yeah, go ahead. It's a hard race for you to win.
Before you do, you want
Okay, sure.
Okay. How do we carry out our party's Hispanic outreach mantra if party leadership does not actively support our conservative platform for Hispanic outreach? A great example of this question is Pete Flores and Charlie Garland. The perception is Republican leadership is ignoring these races, and we need your help.
Well, Ray, here, I'm going to answer the question honestly. I've talked to Pete. I've looked at that race closely. If Pete were here, he would say, when he was asked to get in the race, he knew it was a high hill to climb in the district. Even though they have a senator who's got little issues with Democrats, that district is about a 10-point Democrat district. And so, if we have resources, right, and I think Charlie can win, and I'm not sure if this person can win, and maybe Ray can pull off a miracle, we're going to guide our resources to help the person we think that has the better shot. That doesn't mean just because someone throws their hat in the ring that we support every candidate who does it. And again, Pete and I have had an honest conversation. I asked groups to look at it. I asked people to consider writing a check. They did all the homework and all the research, and they said, we think we can spend our money in areas to help. Like we have Gilbert Payne running for the House in Pasadena. It's a 50-50 district. I'm going to support a guy or a woman who has a shot to win more than a person who may be 10 points down where the district is 55 Democrat to 45% Republican. So he's a great candidate, and I hope he finds a race he can win, or I hope he pulls off a miracle. But we're not abandoning it at all. Thank you.
We want him to win.
Hey, I want him to win.
You bet.
I'd love to have him. Yes, sir.
Okay, Celinda's telling me you have to go, so if you have like a...
No, go ahead. One we do. What? No, you all avoid it. I'm happy. She's a taskmaster. Somebody has to keep me on schedule.
Lieutenant Governor Patrick.
Yes. Dan is good. Lieutenant Dan is good. Lieutenant Dan.
Not that you don't have,
Yeah.
not that you don't have enough on your plate already.
Okay. I love it. I'm blessed.
Sanctuary cities
Yes.
and the open primary system.
Yes.
Democrats should not be able to vote for Republicans in primaries.
Yeah.
What, if anything, can we do in this legislative session to address those two issues?
First of all, the first one is, and I just didn't, we're running out of time, sanctuary cities is also on our top 5 or 6 priority items, and we have a high bill number. Same with Governor Abbott. And I will confess to you, last session, we passed it. We passed it out. That must mean I'm really out of time. We're on fire. Last session, we passed it out of committee, and we fell 1 vote short. Remember, I only needed 19 votes to bring a bill before. So that means I had 2 Republicans who weren't in support. I twisted every arm I could. I said earlier I passed 20 out of our 22 priorities, a good batting average. I couldn't get that last vote. That particular senator has already committed to voting for it this session. We will pass sanctuary cities out. The House never even gave it a hearing last session, so the House is going to deal with it this session because we're going to pass it over to them. On the issue of the open primaries, you know what, I'll be very candid with you until we got in this race with Ted and others. I saw how other states did things. I hadn't really thought much about it because we hadn't really had that issue before. I'm wide open to hearing what the members say and the senators say. We just haven't spent any time on it. But on the surface, I think what you're saying makes total sense. We don't want Democrats corrupting our elections, but to be honest with you,
running against us.
we're running against us. And we had that Larry Taylor, we have a senator, he had a Democrat run against him as in the Republican primary. So I'm not going to make a commitment here that yes, I'm all in, but I'm sure leaning in that direction. But I just haven't had enough time to research and study because maybe there's some reason we haven't. There must be some reason we haven't. I can't imagine. Is there a reason, Stephanie, we haven't?
When he comes up to state.
Okay, stand up, Stephanie.
There's more than one way to do it. You can register by party like they do in California, or you can nominate your candidates by caucus like they do in Utah and some other states. So there's more than one way to do it.
And that's what I mean by we just haven't. Yeah, we just haven't discussed or researched it, to be honest with you. I don't think there's been much discussion about it in the legislature. So I think it'll be on the table, and the bottom line is we don't want Democrats undermining our Republican primaries, without question. So thank you.
I'll write you a letter every day until it's done.
Okay, all right. I'll only read it the first time, but it's going to say the same thing. And I'll have it. Julie, thank you. again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve. We had a great session because of you and because of the senators you sent me. Our goal is to continue to lead in the legislature and lead on the issues that you care about. We're not going to be 100% on everything, whether it's ESAs or transport, whatever the issue may be, but I think we'll be there 95% of the time. And if we're there 95% of the time, and if we can have another session like the last session, then I hope you'll be proud of the work we've done. Again, at the end of the day, the credit goes first to you for electing the most conservative body in the history of the state, and number two, it goes to all my freshman senators and many freshman chairmen who have never been chairman before, who had to step up with so much turnover, and they really did a good job and worked hard. Thank you, George. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Good night, everybody.